10 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Seconds remaining.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the last game of the night between 4ASE, now known as Stark GG, and 4C&L. 4C&L taking the first game. There was a little bit back and forth there. 4C&L did come out strong, especially EGM playing the Earthshaker, which he is going to have a repeat performance blitz.
I mean, I thought my MVP was personally Pycat.
Oh, yeah.
He went pretty insane. Being able to pick up a solo kill in the mid lane, snowballed pretty hard throughout the game. I liked his item choices. I agreed with him for the most part. I thought his positioning was really good in the fights. But EGM obviously has a highlight clip of being able to get that really big Echo Slam off in the beginning. Yeah. I complimented him for it, and he said, thank you. Hope failed 2 stuns early game. Hope you missed that. And we did. So
we did. Good job. Luckily for you, EGM. We have a first pick Earthshaker because 4C&L feels so comfortable on the hero. I guess with a performance like that, who wouldn't? But Stark GG. A Darkseer in response, and still waiting on that other pickup, but Darkseer really that valuable? It's kind of interesting seeing him all of a sudden elevated to a first 1-2 with Rubik.
I think that Darkseer is okay here. Especially if you want to have a really stable offlaner, like we talked about in the past, like there aren't a lot of tier 1 offlaners that you really want to take.
Yeah,
Darkseer makes it so that you have some pretty interesting laning phase choices too. Because, for example, if that's an offlane Earthshaker, then you could just put the Darkseer 1v1 right against the Earthshaker, and have some potentially interesting stuff there. Like, I like that Stark GG were willing to go for the aggro tri lane. I just kind of wish that they had switched their lanes a bit earlier.
Radiant team back.
Like, what happens if you actually move your tri-lane from bottom to top and contest that Spectre?
Oh, yeah. So you just, instead of running the dual lane, I don't know, I felt like their dual lane was still did pretty well for themselves. I mean, they could have picked up a really early kill on the Rubik. They slightly missed the opportunity on that, but
yeah. It was probably just individual errors, because the mid-death really, like I said, that set a chain reaction that really...
Yeah, I think it was really the mid lane that fell apart for the laning phase, because otherwise they would have, in my mind, won 2 lanes.
Yeah.
Because I really felt confident about the Beastmaster Tusk lane doing well, and then obviously the bottom lane Juggernaut plus Skyreth Mage against a Clockwork. Like, that's never going to go well for the Clockwork. But in the end, individual play kind of reigned supreme with middle lane, as well as I would say Sexy Bamboo did better than expected against that dual lane.
Radiant team pick.
Disruptor's response from 4C&L. A nice controlling hero versus Darkseer. I particularly like that aspect. Disruptor, I think, offers the most disable against Darkseer. So you can really threaten him in lane and keep him out of range. Just because, like, even level 1 Glimpse is dangerous for Darkseer because he depends on that haste movement speed to be able to run past the support when he comes around.
Yeah.
So you'll still be able to be in range as he passes you by, and then he's got no surge.
Your head is so shiny. You need to
that's what the studio lights are.
You need to grow hair back.
I'm not growing my hair back.
Can we just get like a poll?
No, No, we're not having a poll about my hair. I had a poll about my beard once upon a time.
You look like a Cabbage Patch Kid that was slightly defective.
What? That doesn't even make sense.
You know those chia pets?
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense, yeah.
Yours just didn't come in all the way. They didn't water that enough.
Seeds were a little misplaced.
Yeah, you look like a defective chia pet.
Okay. You calm down there, Blitzdota.
I don't know how else to put it. It's just funny looking at it straight. It's like staring into the sun. It's making me go crazy.
All right, calm down there, Asian Pillsbury Doughboy.
Man, that's not even as good as my defective
No,
Chia
it
Pet
definitely
comment.
is. That is way better than your defective.
Are you kidding me?
Chia
The
Pet.
Pillsbury Doughboy thing has been done by Curtis Ling, who at after parties at TI pokes me in the stomach and goes, "Ooh."
I've never heard that.
You should.
I did
He's
not
really
know
good
that.
at it. It's his like victory celebration at TI.
10 seconds remaining.
We're gonna talk about.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
5 seconds
We're gonna talk about the actual picks though.
Ember Spirit.
Yeah, Ember Spirit is just a hero that was not nerfed, not touched at all, and a lot of the heroes that ruined his day in the mid lane are gone. They just disappeared. It's just Ember that's left.
No more Lena, no more Leshrac.
Let's just
Did
go
Queen of
ban
Pain? Did Queen of Pain get a nerf at all?
though. No,
don't think
Queen
she
of Pain.
did.
Oh, her ulti.
She just dropped in popularity.
ulti.
But, oh, that's right.
Her
Yeah,
ulti.
yeah. But was it just the regular damage and the axe is still the same?
I think
or-
both.
Okay.
Definitely both.
Yeah. Anyway, the Skywrath Mage, you've got double silence now against an Ember Spirit. I really like what 4C&L are doing so far. I think the Disruptor was a great pickup versus the Darkseer. The Skywrath Mage, great against the Ember Spirit. And this does lock them into an offlane Earthshaker now, but Templar Assassin now.
Ooh, I like this pick.
So I like it too. I feel like Templar Assassin, like did she get touched at all for the patch?
No, she was not touched at all.
And she was already viable in the previous patch with all the stacking that goes on. So, yeah, I really like the Templar Assassin as mid laner here. 4C&L do pick the SF in response. The Templar Assassin does beat out the SF, right?
5 seconds remaining.
It does, but at the same time, SF does okay nowadays. People have figured out a way to deal with TAs a lot more.
A lot of it being going back and farming stacks.
Yeah, you can just
Worst
play.
comes to worst.
You can just play like the defensive game and like chill. You don't have to play as aggro as you once did. Like before in the past, you would have to play pretty. You would have to play pretty aggressively as the SF to get anything secured, and then like level 6, you just die. But there is a point where you can now catch up.
Ban out of Tusk by 4C&L. I'm really surprised that the Tusk hasn't actually been picked up yet. Meanwhile, the Slordar, obviously the combination with SF, taken out.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve
So, Stark. Need a support to pair with the Rubik. I wouldn't actually mind. Nina's been taken out. What's a really good damage support?
Spirit Breaker.
Okay.
Dire team
Not
pick.
quite what I had in mind, but he does put pressure on the SF. He's really good versus Skywrath Mage.
You know what I would love to see? An offlane Skywrath Mage from One Sexy Bambo. That would make me laugh so hard. Just have Earthshaker and Disruptor as supports again. They need a carry right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What's good against this?
What's good against Ember Spirit, and Templar
5
Assassin?
seconds remaining.
I don't think you pick Spec against Darkseer or Spirit Breaker. I think that's insane.
Reserve
Yeah. You've got to get some sort of really self-sustained, like, you need a Juggernaut or some sort of ranged hero, maybe.
Stands ready.
Sven.
Sven is okay when it comes to early sustain.
It's tanky.
Yeah.
That's something you can say about.
Makes everyone tanky, too. Against minus armor of the Templar Assassin, that's going to be pretty valuable.
Yeah.
So, a kind of aggro lineup for 4C&L. I think this one, Sven, the last ban was kind of on the money, because I think they did want to run the Slardar.
Oh yeah,
But
Slaughter's.
Sven is a great replacement to a Slardar in a way. Instead of the minus armor, he brings plus armor to your allies, but he still is the same kind of like Blink Initiator that is able to get really aggressive. There's a lot more carry potential out of the Slardar than there is out of the Sven than there is the Slardar, but
10 seconds.
I think it was still a pretty good pickup, and you will not have an off-lane Skywrath Mage. Blitz, I'm sorry. Normal old Earthshaker off-lane for you.
I mean, I saw. I got fucked out into it again. I saw Bambo do offlane gyrocopter. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember. And he
So if
he
that's
dove
possible,
into the enemy side of the base and
to try
killed-
to get the trigger.
Yeah. They won that game, didn't they?
No, they lost terribly.
Oh, did they? It
Because
was another. Oh, it was like the first time we saw offline Tiny from him, and they dominated.
Yeah. I mean, he tried to make. I mean, Bambo just tries to make everything work.
What is this? I
Hold on.
like this set.
My Dota's broken, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm being reborn right now.
The Sven set. All right, 60 Bambo. I'm always interested to see what kind of builds offlane Earthshakers go for, because there are so many different builds you can go. In this game, he chose to go for the boots, because you can go like a little bit more like tanky builds with like a ring of protection. You can go the early boots builds, like 60 Bambo is going now. You can also go the fast soul ring.
Yeah.
But
The battle
are they gonna go for the blockout? Oh, 60 Bambo! If he had thrown that one, he would have actually blocked out the Ember Spirit, and it would have been a great catch for them. But no such luck, and he'll go back to Fisher blocking the creep wave. We are gonna have the dual lane as expected. Trixie and Valak's gonna couple their heroes together. Spiritbreaker Darkseer lane is really tough to deal with, but we'll see if Swift Ending and his two ranged supports are going to be able to help with that. I think EGM can only spend so much time in this middle lane harassing Nymphy.
It's a pretty. You're just trying to help out the SF like a little bit.
Yeah.
Because once you build up the early souls advantage, your lane is okay, which is what he's doing right now. Like, he's been able to get 2 last hits and a deny off, which is fairly significant. He should get the last hit off on this one too.
Yeah.
So he's going to start off with pretty comparable base stats against the TA.
Missed.
As I say that, he missed.
Yeah.
The pressure built up, man.
But I guess the point being is that the Skywrath Mage can't hang around that middle lane nearly as much as you normally would like to, just because the pressure at the top lane is so intense.
I do see it again.
Sven's one of those heroes. We were talking about the Mango first build. Sven is definitely one of those heroes.
What is the other carry that does it? I can't remember.
Do Wraith Kings go for it?
No.
No.
There's somebody that goes for it, though, that I remember. Just off the... Oh, PL. PL.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of harassment damage on Trixie still, though. They will both pick up their level 2. As soon as they get their level 3, they are a very dangerous duo. Both inside the lane and outside. Pycat is not going to be able to challenge Nymphy for that rune. So he'll just push out the wave. Unfortunately, there's going to be no rune for him because OKC is going to get the double damage at bottom lane as well.
Boogie is playing the Ember. This bottom lane.
We went fast boots on Pycat. Don't you normally pick up bottle against the Templar Assassin for just raise spam? Because that's the best way to get CS.
I think it's okay on the dire side.
Yeah.
Just being able to contest for runes and force her out and being able to survive.
Okay.
And play like the stats-based game. Because if she has boots and you don't, then she has like decent potential to kill you even without your level 6 on the TA.
Yeah.
And this way, if you notice, like Pycat has comparable base stats, and it's also against this guy right here that's coming in. Like if you were to get bashed once and he doesn't have boots, the TA and the Spirit Breaker can just chase you down and kill you.
Yeah, that's a really good point. He does need some extra regen, so he'll probably be bringing himself healing self. It's both the Side Blades and the Spirit Breaker's harassment is done its number. Meanwhile, we have a level 3 Darkseer that's going to start spamming out those Ion Shells against Swift Ending. It's going to be really tough. He already takes a little bit of extra damage, more than he should. EGM, is that our first blood? It certainly is. Nymphy will be the one to take the kill.
I'd be surprised though if Pycat decides to skip bottle altogether. Like, I think it's an item obviously that you have to get eventually, unless this is some like weird next level stuff.
Yeah.
But I like the mobility of his build. As long as he just keeps up in regen, which he's doing a decent job of right now. Like, he's pretty fine. But he's going to get his bottle probably right after this CS.
Once again, both runes going to be covered, and it seems like a very good idea not to go bottle immediately if you're not going to be able to take advantage of any of these runes. So, okay, Sia takes the bounty and an illusion rune for the Templar Assassin.
Yeah.
Sexy Bamboo, he's been kind of caught here, body blocked out by Boogie, cutting his way through the trees. Will get to the side lane and stay away from the Rubik. Nicely played there.
He actually only got one level of the stun for now. I imagine for the mana cost.
Yeah. No, I think it's a pretty good idea. And I think there are certain situations where you can be saved off of level 2 Aftershock when you're being controlled by the chains. The extra stun duration might just give you enough time to get out. And it's really not bad having 2 levels of Aftershock. Because then you get a lot of farming power with Enchant Totem.
Alright, so he's got full Arcane Boots already. He's doing okay in this bottom lane, actually.
Yeah, Arcane Boots by 5 minutes is really strong.
He's keeping up with Trixie.
Yeah. This is just a bit of the advantage of going against, again, one of those supports that doesn't offer a lot of kill power. The Ember Spirit does, though, which is why I'm so surprised he has Arcane Boots already.
I think Ember in the early phase, though, doesn't really threaten you too much.
Yeah, it's the... Once he gets to level 5, right, where the Flame Guard starts doing a lot of damage over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Charge in here. Trixie is going to be popped, raised, and a glimpse. Not even necessary.
EGM and RMN are both smoked up. Looks like they want to try to get something out of this, even if they're just wrapping around for this top tower push. But looks like they're not going to be able to run into anything.
Unless RMN fully commits for that top lane, but never mind. He's going to be spotted out by the Spirit Breaker. They're still going to go for some damage on him, even though I think they know they can't kill Valix. It's just not possible. He's way too tanky.
And at the same time at bottom, Bamboo is going to go down to that Ember Spirit. And like you were talking about, there is a lot of offensive potential there that they have to be worried about.
Yeah. Pycat being chased down does have the double damage and 2 supports coming in, so Nymphy, no, he's going to stay out. No, he actually does get caught by the glimpse. They're going to try and go for the kill now, but he just melts and they don't have the counter vision necessary. A refraction. Forced to burn through that one still, though. Pycat's going to be in a pretty happy position now with Nymphy solo on mana. He's got 13 wand charges, though.
You just have to kind of wait out the initial storm. If you're 4C&L, the laning phase is still going pretty decently because your Shadow Fiend is doing just fine right now. He's had a pretty decent go of it. All you have to do is play, I don't want to say passively, but you don't have to play that aggressively. You just kind of have to protect your heroes wherever you can, and EGM is most likely good. No, he's fine. Just going to run away. In fact, they might actually look for the
Nymphy might be dead. He's going to have to stay out of the tower range and probably play off of Melt Strike, or maybe just keeps on running right through. The kinetic field doesn't actually catch him. Fisher, though, on the side, 60 Bamboo does get charged to the wrong side of that one. Wanted to get the Echo Slam. The extra damage is just enough, and EGM gets the kill, and Valix will die as well. 2-3 now as 4C&L group up their forces in the middle lane to respond quite nicely. Swift ending. Put some pressure on the Darkseer there with the stun.
Yeah, and this is going to allow Pycat to be in a similar situation as last game, where he was able to snowball pretty hard off of whatever little advantage that he was able to get. At the same time, they were able to get this ward over here, so they see the ancient stacks that have already been done.
And then get some vision on the middle lane, which is nice for the SF as well.
Yeah, but it does mean that, I think that means that at some point they plan on contesting it, or they at least want to make a go of it, and not just let Nymphy like get out of control.
Mm-hmm. Swift Ending is going to be in some trouble. Trixie is going to start catching up. They have the double ion shell in a second, too, so Swift Ending has to stay ahead of these two. Pops the mango for the double stun.
That's where that mango efficiency comes into play, and Trixie looks like he wanted to get even more aggressive, but with EGM here, I doubt they're able to make anything out of it, and Pycat's even up here right now, and it looks like they wanted to try to get something out of this, but with Boogie over here, I don't think that this is even possible. I think this is just a disengage opportunity.
Yeah.
Although they're going to know that Pycat's over here, and Boogie's actually got the Ion Shell and the Flame Guard on him, and there's no way to dispel this that early.
The stun comes in, but the charge will finish out. Oh, a stun on Volix will actually trap on the wrong side of things, and they will go down. A wall from the Darkseer, but not enough to finish anybody off. And once again, 4C&L just winning a fight due to their willingness to bring these heroes rotated around. And that's the big difference, right, between the Earthshaker and the Darkseer offlane. The effectiveness in early fights.
Yeah, the amount of people that Stark brought there, they probably thought that it was going to be a free kill. Like the Ion Shell plus the Flame Guard, one of the strongest combinations in the game, but then the Earthshaker commits with the Fissure, Bambo happens to be there. That was the determining factor in all of that. Bambo just happening to pop out of there with the Fissure, and that's twice now. He's kind of just like come out of nowhere with that Fissure to catch heroes out.
Yeah. And a block off on OKC. One raise, two raise? Nope. On right click and a raise, and Pycat gets a dominating streak now.
I mean, Rubik has nothing. One raise is like a third of his HP.
Well, TP in. Valix can't actually commit for the kill on EGM, and they're going to go for instead a kill on Nemphy. Glimpse back into the tower range with immediate stun, and he doesn't have a refraction for another 4 seconds if they could burn through him, but it just doesn't seem possible. They don't have the nuke damage necessary. Meanwhile, they did get the Spirit Breaker on the side. 60 Bambo. Another counter ward laid down. Does have a Fissure in 1 more second with the stun on the side. They'll get the kill. The raise out. Now it's Fissure time. 60 Bambo going to OKC. He's going to trap himself in the trees there. Ultimate pop by Pycat, and they will take out the Rubik. As the rest of the rotation's being stopped, no need to try and feed even more kills to 4C&L. Instead, they just push out that top lane.
Yeah, that ulti was just like okay, if you come Darkseer, you're gonna TP into this, or you just give up your Rubik, and hopefully this will deal some damage to him at the same time. And they were able to just get aggressive all around the map, slow down the TA's progression like crazy. They even have a sentry in position to stop the further ancient stacks, and I mean, this game has been pretty opportunistic for them.
I almost said, like, oh, I think we're going to see a Helma Dominator on Swift Ending so he can, like, stack up the Ancients and clear through it because he's got the max greater cleave. And I was like, no, it's probably just Armlet. But he actually does go for it. Helma Dominator. I'm not sure if I've seen this on Sven builds before. Have you?
No. Usually you go for the Mask of Madness. Yeah. Which is more common. Mm-hmm. Can you... I mean, if you can disassemble it, you might just use it for the... what is it? The Ancient stacks?
And then... turn it into an Armlet later.
Yeah, and then a Mask of Madness.
Yeah.
But keeping it as a Helma Dom isn't even that bad. Just because against a TA, for example, you need the armor.
Dire's middle tower has been...
I think Helma Dominator is really efficient in stats as well.
Yeah. The stacking part, though, is probably the biggest.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be a great way for this Sven to keep up.
Pycat needs a haste or an invis.
Oh, block out. Fissure, Boogie. Can they change Sun and Echo Slam? But no enchant totem. Boogie, though, still doesn't have a jump over yet. Will be able to get to the Remnant. RMN looking for the glimpse back. Is going to try and catch him, but the telekinesis gets him beforehand. And RMN actually has to start backing himself up underneath that tower range as Valix could charge in at any point in time. Pycat was hoping to catch the Ember Spirit, but... doesn't seem like too wise an idea to look between the tier 1 and tier 2 tower.
I think they had some idea too. They actually had a ward there. Like both teams had, Stark had a ward down there, so they knew that Pycat was eventually going to rotate in. But Pycat's still pretty massive. He's going to go for the Yule's first build this game.
Bottom tower.
I guess I agree with that, just because it deals well with, for example, the Ember Spirit. You can just wait out the chains timing. Same with the Spirit Breaker. If he's charging at you, you can just Yule's him. Yule's yourself during his ulti. Like, there's a lot of different options with this item. And plus, it gives you the kill potential.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good setup, too. For example, for things like the Disruptor, especially. Like, if you can just Yule's Boogie, and then the Disruptor immediately drops everything on top of that area.
Yeah.
It's a really nice setup.
And there's the stack. It was there just 5 seconds ago, but Swift Ending clears through it so quickly with God's Strength and maxed out Cleave. Doesn't even go for the maxed out Stormhammer, which is particularly interesting to me because usually it's Warcry that suffers to a max Cleave build.
Yeah, I kind of like it though because he's just using the Stormhammer timing because the stun doesn't actually go up or anything like that. It's just the damage.
Yeah.
And I guess he just favors more of the Greater Cleave and the Warcry.
Oh, silence! No, they're not going to get it. The combo is not there perfectly. So, they got the glimpse back. Okay, never mind. He jumps back again. He's still going to be caught in the kinetic field, but this team is just not going to get there in time.
I like that they continue to apply pressure, though, while their safe lane carry continues to farm. Like, it's all about just buying your safe lane carry some time while you apply pressure onto the Ember. Obviously, they would have been a lot happier with the kill, but even just wasting time for as long as they possibly can is an okay trade for you too.
Yeah. Wait in the middle lane. They've got the silence. They're going to jump on a Boogie here. Silence, Disruptor ultimate as well, just to hold Boogie in. And they will be able to get this kill as Boogie falls just barely in time. Volix is actually going to charge right through Nymphy. Cleaned up the Skyearth Mage with the double damage. Goes for Sexy Bamboo as well, but fortunately the combination of Glimpse and Echo Slam buys his Sexy Bamboo enough time to back out. Pycat. Oh, he's got the Yule Scepter, so he'll put a stop to the retreat from the Rubik, who has no mana.
He's like, where do I go? Why are you down here, Pycat? There's a fight mid.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty unexpected for Pycat to be down there.
Yeah.
There's no way that the Rubik had any way to anticipate that, and this is going to be a free tower for him, or what it looks like, but he's just immediately going to go for the TP, he understands.
Especially against a Spirit Breaker. Not a wise idea. Those Tier 1 tower, if the glyph is popped, it probably means it's going to be defended. So, deny instead.
Still, pressure on the map. You get a free kill on the Rubik as a Shadow Fiend, and none of your cores die or anything around the map. Everybody was pretty successful in getting out with the exception of EGM, but you'll trade that.
So, an SNY build for this Sven. Not terribly surprising, seeing as the SNY is such a popular item nowadays. Fits the Sven quite well. The main, pretty valuable for any melee hero, the increased movement speed, obviously, and just the stats. Really nice.
Yeah, and they're going to go for this sick timing where eventually they can just go for the Roshan.
Yeah.
And SNY has kind of just become like the pseudo replacement for having to go for an early BKB. Just like getting early stats helps quite a bit. And this bottom area, they know that he's there, but he's going to get brought back. And
oh yeah, they got the kill, looks like, as they're going to drop the Disruptor ultimate as well. Nymphy is still sitting underneath all that, but the Fisher will finish him off.
That's rough. He just hasn't been able to catch any
he's going to let loose. I mean, it is so unlikely to get that combo against an Ember Spirit.
Yeah, he's just spamming.
Yeah. Because you have to be, like, perfect timing.
Does the Flame Guard still instantly get purged by the Yules?
I don't know. Does it?
I think so. I don't remember reading that change.
So an SNY now for Swift Ending, who is going to be smoked up here. So they've got the early increase 20 bonus armor. That's so important for a hero like Skyearth Mage, who's currently sitting on 1. Sexy Bamboo leads with the Fisher, Enchant Totem, and that's a very dead Rubik.
Yeah, they've taken so much map control in this game. They haven't even gone for anything like Roshan. The difference in team net worth isn't massive or anything like that. They haven't gone for any sort of Roche timings or anything like that. And there are still a lot of healthy towers available for Stark to still fight behind. So things are still kind of okay.
Volix, oh, he's going to be kind of jumped here. Enchant Totem, they still have the ultimate out from 60 Bamboo. They want to pop it, but he's going to have to use it defensively. Nice double stun out. The Echo Sand vacuum wall, and they will be able to finish off 60 Bamboo. Swift Ending turning and trying to fight as best as possible, but Nymphy with the refraction is tanking up quite a lot. Still, though, between the combination of Swift Ending and Pycat, they're going to try and get away from this fight. Trixie will be stunned and silenced up. He's going to go down here. Oh, nice Cyclone out, and that's going to stop the charge of Volix. Swift Ending turns and fights once again, but he's just being kited around constantly by this Templar. Ooh, he finally finds EGM.
They're going to try to get out. Boogie still has mana, though, and he wants to make the attempt on this, but they don't want to get too close as Pycat's gonna let the
ultimate
ulti.
from Pycat. He gets it off, and Volix is going to die to a straight one-shot with a double damage. Nemphy will get out, though, thanks in part to the refraction. We also had in the side RMN. Ended up going in through the back. Oh, Pycat's still chasing. Jesus. I didn't imagine he was going to continue to go for an RMN. Blocks him out with the kinetic fields, and that should spell the end of it now. But the Rubik also died. Disruptor came in from behind and finished him off.
Decent trade overall for both teams, because it does prove to Stark that they're not as far behind as they might have thought. When you just look at the baseline score and what's been happening so far, they were able to get a kill on the Sven, which is fairly important. Like, that was a hero that they were eventually going to have to shut down, like, even a little bit.
Yeah,
for him to go down.
That was his first death of the game, so...
Yeah. It took them longer than they probably wanted to kill EGM, for example. But being able to just get the amount of kills that they did is pretty satisfying. They just kind of have to decide now, at this point, is like, we have to pretty much defend the Roshan attempt. They've got the trap inside at all times. So they'll at least kind of have an idea of what's going on when it comes to the vision game. But everybody from both teams is down in this area, with the exception of Swift Ending and Boogie.
They could stall Roshan in time for Trixie to get a Blink Dagger. That would be huge, obviously.
The Darkseer wall is a really good way to deal with a lot of the heroes from 4C&L.
Yeah, if they get a good Sven Illusion, they're going to go on a Swift Ending here. Might be able to finish him off, but a good Disruptor ultimate will disrupt things rather heavily, and no pursuit from Stark.
Yeah, and it looks like they want to get counter-aggressive right now.
Yeah, 60 Bambo. They managed to chain stun up Boogie here, and 60 Bambo didn't quite have the Echo Slam, but it doesn't matter. The silence is good enough. And now Pycat's going to be jumped by Nemphy. The ultimate goes off, though. Volix actually, the Leo Scepter lasts a little bit too long, and Pycat has to turn around and finish off Volix before the Ion Shell does its work, but Trixie still gets the kill in the end. Rubik lets loose an ultimate of his own. Trixie's going to be slowed down here by EGM, but Nemphy comes forward, just two shots him real quickly, and Nemphy, once again, the lack of attack speed on Swift Ending is causing some issues, but now the refraction is gone. They actually still see him and will be able to finish him off, and now Trixie's going to be caught as well. Swift Ending just needs one right click to finish him off, and there it is, the full wipe, as Swift Ending is the big winner of that one with a triple kill to finish things off.
You're going to be so happy about that now, because the Sven finishes his blink. He's the last core to be able to survive. Yeah, you lost 3 on the side of 4C&L, but you were able to 5-man wipe. On top of that, your Sven is the one that was the primary beneficiary of all of that. At the same time, with all of this battling going on, they still have this giant stack for Swift Ending. So it's not even like they're just trading evenly and the game's going static. No, he's still getting pretty far ahead.
Yeah, he's
this giant stack.
This is like the third stack that he's gone through now.
Yeah, this is not an insignificant measure that he's doing whatsoever, because all of these traded fights, they're kind of okay for, I mean, that was 5 for 3, but, you know, the previous one was like 3 for 2, and they were able to kill the Sven. But as long as he just continues to stack at this rate, they'll always get the better end of the deal.
Yeah. He's got 11,000 net worth. That is 3K above the Templar Assassin. 60 Bambo playing around with his totem. All alone in the woods. He's waiting for an opportunity to jump on Volix. But instead, they're going to go on the Rubik Echo Slam combo, and that's going to be a free kill. So he'll actually be pretty close to finishing up the 4 staff, which is really useful, especially against Templar Assassin, who can jump and almost 3-shot 60 Bambo. He needs a way to get away from those last couple of hits that finish him off.
I don't even know if that's going to be enough. But they have to be able to just keep heroes alive so that Swift Ending can continue to hit.
Yeah, if they could just keep kiting, because the problem is right now the Templar Assassin goes through these supports so quickly that Swift Ending isn't able to really spend a whole lot of dedicated amount of time.
Yeah.
Because his attack speed is just still so low.
What people have to understand is that the primary thing about supports is that they're going to be the people that often keep up when it comes to wards and stuff like that. And at bottom lane,
yeah, 60 Bambo,
so
blink. Oh, he was so close. So very close. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is actually doing Roshan because they got a double damage on Pycat. So even with the trap, it doesn't really matter. Volix completes his ultimate RMN, but he sends it back with a glimpse. Now with an Aegis. Swift Ending wants to take this fight. They also have a BKB on the SS. Swift Ending trying to get in a better position here because Nemphy is diving the tower up against the Skywrath Mage. Does get silent still. Swift Ending going to be charged up, and Stark want to continue to force this one, knowing there's not a whole lot of backup, or at least not a right away. Now Pycat comes in with a double damage, pops BKB, pops the ultimate as well. Valix is going to be just 3-shot here. Meanwhile, RMN trying to lock Nemphy inside with the kinetic field will be able to stall him up long enough for Swift Ending to get the kill, and Pycat keeps moving forward. Found OKC, gets a couple of right clicks up onto him, a Fisher block, and Swift Ending, or rather Pycat, will take the kill instead. Swift Ending almost lost his Aegis there again to Rubik, stealing that SF ultimate.
I'm surprised that they continued that dive. Like, getting EGM was a pretty decent boon out of that entire engagement.
Yeah.
But you're going against Swift Ending and targeting down a hero that has an Aegis and a BKB Shadow Fiend backing him up, and heroes that are going to arrive pretty soon because Bambo died at the beginning of the fight. Caesar's going to be in position to get back in the fight a lot sooner than you'd expect.
And a Blink Dagger spent as well. Like, you kill him and it's not like you can back out of reach of him. He's still going to pursue you. Exactly.
At that point, you were hard dedicated to a fight that you knew was going to be tough.
Yeah.
But I guess they just thought the circumstances were okay because the Earthshaker was still dead for like 10 seconds. They had killed EGM. But still, that was a little bit of a questionable decision. And now Pycat's pretty decently big. He's still got a 9-second BKB, 1800 gold backing him up. Swift Ending will have a crit if he wants it. They might actually just kill him here, but...
Echo Slam. Oh, Fisher, no, interrupted by the telekinesis. And now OKC has actually got the Storm Bolt, turns it around and finishes off that Aegis of Swift Ending. Boogie will chain up a couple of members. They've got a good vacuum situation, especially with the bounce of the side blades. They can actually finish off both of these supports. Swift Ending, though, goes straight for Boogie, unable to get the kill in time as he jumps over to the left-hand side of the wall. Trixie's going to be run down, but never mind, it chains. And they're just kiting him around so expertly. A blink out from Trixie just ahead of Pycat's right click, and Swift Ending stun. Oh, he gets Trixie in the end.
He's just getting kited so hard in all of these fights.
Yeah, he desperately needs a BKB. Pycat lets loose the ultimate. There goes the refraction, but the turnaround opportunity as Valix completes the charge, and Pycat's forced into a BKB of his own. Still, he's going to be run down. And he probably will die here unless Swift Ending can actually bump up his armor enough to be able to keep him alive. The neutrals will actually get the kill. That was probably for the best, as I think the Ember Spirit still would have found him.
Yeah, that was just a rough scenario.
What a big deny. Stark now going to be caught. Valix, the turnaround. It was going to happen once you dive so heavily for a kill on Pycat. It would have been well worth it if they'd actually gotten the kill on SF, but...
That's so unfortunate, because the SF was about to have Blink up again, but at the same time, there's a decent chance that Stark just continued to dive and go for it. So I guess that was the best possible scenario for 4C&L, because you just take away that chance, right?
Yeah.
And most importantly, Swift Ending gets out, you're able to get a return kill. Everything kind of just works out there for 4C&L once again. But at the same time, their lineup, Stark's lineup, is still really good at kiting.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing it in every single one of these fights, but it's going to get significantly harder now that the Sven does have that BKB available to him. A purchase that I think he eventually had to make, stats or no stats. The chains, for example, from the Ember Spirit were just doing way too much.
Yeah, he just kept getting cut around by that. And honestly, the damage is not bad. 24 damage and 10 strength. And it's still quite a valuable item on strength heroes. So... Swift Ending. They want to still force this top lane. Boogie. They do have an Echo Slam. They can actually hold him here long enough to get the kill. So Boogie gets picked off in the top lane. 13-28 now. 27 minutes in. And Stark scrambling to find any sort of opening. They're going to go on to EGM here, but that is not an ultimate Valix really wanted to complete, as he's going to be glimpsed right back into another ultimate of Skywrath Mage. Swift Ending starts running him down. Valix has a charge up in a second as soon as the silence fades, but he gets stunned up by Sexy Bambo and does end up going down. This, of course, leaves Pycat alone in the top lane, which means immediately Nemphy and OKC try and take advantage of that one by running him down. They even smoked up and TP'd to the tier 2 tower just to try and get that opening, but it was the right game plan. But Pycat was kind of one step ahead.
Yeah, he was just you know, he's just trying to create some pressure on the map during this entire engagement area, and that's what 4C&L continue to do. They just continue to get a little bit ahead despite like all of these chaotic fights. No matter which way they break, they're saying to themselves, okay, we'll just keep edging them out a little bit here and there when it comes to farm, when it comes to pushing, when it comes to actually applying pressure, and that's how I think they want to just secure a big enough lead for them to just snowball through. And if you take a look at the gold graph and the XP, 10 and 15k respectively, Swift Ending is just pretty monstrous now. He's got that crit completed too, and you know, you were completely right about the Helmadam though. Like, the 5 armor has really paid off.
Yeah, especially against this lineup that is pretty physical damage centric. Templar Assassin, obviously, physical damage minus armor. And then the Ember Spirit and Spirit Breaker both get the benefit of that. Pycat's built really heavily into the mid game here. Like, incredibly heavily. He's got a Blink Dagger, Yules, BKB, as well as now an SNY. But if you manage to stay far enough ahead, you'll still be able to transition into the late game, even with all the mitigating returns of having to sell your items to replace. But he's a monster right now. He's got 2k HP, 30 minutes in. This is really the biggest opening window for 4C&L in this 30 to 40 minute marker. They got to get a lot done. And Stark, well, this is definitely a start. Kiting around Swift Ending. They will glimpse it back. Oh, they missed out on the silence there. That was not the play.
I don't think he was meant to glimpse him out, right?
Yeah, I don't think so at all.
If he doesn't glimpse him out, I think they hold him in there. Because he got him stuck in the trap.
They're actually going to force the fight. 60 Bambo's going to be charged up. He still has the Echo Slam and will be able to get it off. Never mind. Vacuum forced out to the side. He's actually going to buy himself time to blink back in. Neppy's hoping to be able to hunt him down, but he doesn't have any sort of detection. Meanwhile, the combination is just destroying Stark. They're going to be able to get the Yule Scepter on Templar Assassin, who can't blink away. No refraction. And now will be eventually taken out. Echo Slam. Oh, they're going to be able to finish it off. Never mind. Ember Spirit. He dances himself away. Is there another glimpse in a second? Pycat getting some more right-click damage, but not enough. Glimpse is up in 5 seconds' time, but both the Templar Assassin and Ember Spirit survive, which is a decent win for Stark, considering how badly that team fight could have gone. I really thought the TA was dead.
Yeah, they didn't have the Skywrath anymore, who had all the vision on him at once. Like, he had both the Dust and the Sentries, which is why typically you might want to split it up.
Yeah.
On one here or another, but... unfortunately for them.
But RMN's so rich that he decided to go for a Vlad's and didn't have room for it.
I mean, he's got Vlad's and a Glimmer Cape. This is a pretty utility hero right now.
I've never seen a Vlad's picked up so early on a hero like this.
And you might as well. The 5 bonus armor that it gives, it's kind of like a ghetto. It's like a ghetto AC for your team.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't quite have an AC for you guys, but what I have is a Vlad's.
Yeah, considering the change up where now the SF can benefit from that lifesteal as well, it's actually really nice.
Oh, for sure.
Considering he does almost 250 damage a hit.
He's also got another 2.5k gold built up on him.
Yeah, so he removes the bottle for Butterfly probably against the TA.
Yeah, I think it's a decent expenditure at this point.
Because the Sven is probably going to go for the AC after the Daedalus, right? You kind of need the extra attack speed. In fact, I wouldn't mind him, except for he doesn't really have the open item slot for it. But I wouldn't mind him going AC like before the Crystallis or before the Daedalus. That obviously is not going to be the case, though.
The attack speed would be nice.
Yeah.
I just don't think he can afford. Like, the slots are kind of getting pretty tight right now. If he goes AC, ditch the Helmadam, get the AC?
Yeah, I think so.
But he needs the Aegis anyways. I guess the SF can take the Aegis. He still has the bottle slot.
Nymphy. It's on a mission. And he's found his opening, EGM.
Dire's top tower has been downgraded.
Oh, Templar Assassin is so annoying for supports for that very reason.
Especially Sky, who's got one of the worst armors to work with.
Yeah, oh yeah. Sexy Bamboo is trying to hunt down Nymphy here. They might actually be able to catch him. Do they have vision? Enchant Totem. Fisher continuing to hold him there. RMN. He's waiting for the opportunity to get some sort of glimpse play. They know where he's at. He's going to run out of luck eventually here. The Meld now popping the BKB, knowing that Pycat was going to ult him. So he's trying to still get out, but he's getting body blocked. And under the Meld, it's a blink away. This is getting ridiculous now. They're going to have another glimpse up in a second. Nemphy's going to be caught. He's actually going to be torn apart now. The refraction is finally gone. And they're going to go for the next one as well. Trixie. Again, an issue with not having vision. But if they can still keep up with him in game sense, they'll be able to glimpse him back. Disruptor's not close enough.
I mean, when it comes to the actual team fights, again, this Sven and this Shadow Fiend are going to be too beefy as frontliners. And the TA's effectiveness starts to run out. Like as the game continues, like her BKB charges start to get a lot less. Eventually 4C&L will have a ton of detection ready, and she won't just be able to like meld in place and then eventually blink out like 30 seconds later.
Yeah. Whoa, what? A 4-man vacuum wall combination. Trixie single-handedly slows down the Roshan attempt and almost kills EGM. He survives off of 5 HP. They'll get the Darkseer in the end thanks to the glimpse, but that was ridiculous.
That was almost... If his entire team was there, or even if he just had the Ember, I think, with the Battle Fury, that could have just been like...
Yeah, and Ember has a Crystallis.
Yeah, because he just like, slide a fist, slide a fist, slide a fist. Like, how do people get down? Well, but instead, it's now just like everybody from Stark dying one by one. That was such a beautiful wall, too. A wall vacuum. That was excellent.
Couldn't even kill Scarith Mage, though.
Just needed one hero. Maybe he should have vacuumed them and then placed the wall like a little bit more in the center.
Yeah, more like horizontal along the side. So
yeah.
Roshan has fallen to the dark.
Still though, top lane they've caught Boogie. They've got the Echo Slam, so Boogie's dead.
Right, everybody's just being isolated one by one. Things are slowly starting to fall apart for Stark right now.
Yeah, and Swift Ending still keeping up the farm by bullying down Ancients constantly.
Yeah. He has a pretty insane amount of farm, and on top of that, speaking of insane amounts of farm, Pycat's at 5.6k gold. I imagine that's going to be a butterfly for him shortly after his Aegis fades. He'll bring it in. How do you actually deal with this duo core setup right now? Because one has the Aegis, the other's completely... more or less 6-slotted.
You would have loved the Ember Spirit to be there in the Roshan fight, but I think he had the right idea, which is just split push really heavily at the top lane. But he ends up getting caught, and so does OKC.
They're just losing heroes one by one a little bit too frequently now.
Yeah, Stark are just falling apart at the seams now. They're going to lose their tier 3 tower. The rest of 4C&L, well, jump in once again, a 4-man vacuum wall combination. And Trixie does manage to get out.
Radiant's middle tower.
Playing Blink around with this wall. Darkseer does go down, Swift Ending.
Even popping the BKB for that, but they have to know, without Darkseer vacuum wall, they still have the Aegis. Their heroes are relatively untouched throughout this entire possession. How do you continue the fight from here on out?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Uh-oh, Valix, he's going to be turned around on. No, he's fine. The wall still being there is a significant threat.
They're still playing pretty aggressively, but I mean, you just lost a Rax for pretty much nothing. In fact, you lost a Rax and your Darkseer.
Yeah.
So what is even the play anymore for you? I don't quite know where Stark continue to take this fight anymore, because they've just lost so many heroes one by one before the Roshan fight. They've had some pretty sick vacuum walls from Trixie, but they just haven't been able to capitalize, and they're just falling behind too much on item progression now. Like, the difference in net worth is rapidly approaching 30k now.
Haste.
Yeah, that's that sort of like end game where Pycat?
I mean, even Bambo's getting in on it. He's about to pick up a crit.
Of course he is. Pycat just popped his ultimate, and I don't know why.
The victory ult before the fight.
I guess so.
They're gonna win a fight,
maybe
though.
Boogie was there and he was trying to get the Yule Scepter combination again. No, he sold the Yule Scepter, so no.
You either win this fight or the game just kind of ends. I don't think they can afford to just lose 2 racks straight up for nothing.
Yeah, certainly.
You have to make a stand at some point. You can't just like give up racks after racks and say we'll wait out the Aegis at this point, because then 4C&L will just wait for the next Aegis because they know that for ASC it's not going to get easier for them, or Stark I should say, sorry.
Yeah, that's why they jump forward. Pycat continuing. Echo Slam on a 2. Takes up both the Templar Assassin and the Spirit Breaker. It looks like they're going to be able to right-click Trixie down as well. Nice counter Fisher there from OKC. And Trixie will actually be able to buy some time. He has to run back through the wall. Pycat barely survives through all of that. And Armen's actually getting beat down by the SF Illusion. But that's going to be a second lane of racks. And still 2 heroes down for Stark. OKC coming in. Yep, there it goes. Sexy Bamboo finding his opening, perhaps, or a Fisher block. They could go for some sort of diving nonsense here. They can't actually go up to the top lane because the tier 2 is still intact, and that's probably the only reason Stark will continue to be able to play out this one. Especially with some extra pickups here. Sexy Bamboo goes down.
They can probably kill this this Disruptor too, but at the same time, you kind of just like casually lost another set of racks. That's 2 total now. And 4C&L, I mean, they can just play this pace whatever they want at this point because their cores just got a whole lot stronger after that last fight.
Yeah, 3k Moonshard now for Pycat and brings back his Yule Scepter. So he didn't actually sell it.
And Satanic and Moonshards completed for Swift Ending.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh, that's a dramatic difference. Swift Ending just became unkillable. 3,300 HP, has 21 armor naturally, goes up to 41 armor when he pops Warcry. He's already dishing out over 350 damage a shot right now, and he has very fast attack speed. He popped the God Strength. Double down on that. Now he's just looking for stunts here. They're going to try and kite him around as best as possible. That's the only thing they can do, because as soon as he lays his hands on one of them, they're just going to get crit to death.
Just look how unaffected he is by all of this. Like, you guys are all flies. Stop touching me.
Yeah.
But, okay, well, you couldn't make your stand at that bottom racks. This is Mega Creeps. Your team doesn't do well against Mega Creeps. There's no Aegis this time. Like,
I mean, comparatively, their team does alright against Mega Creeps.
That's a Deso Disruptor. Everybody from 4C&L smell blood right now. Bambo's got a crit.
What?
That Disruptor has
I've never... Oh, okay, I've never seen a build like this before.
I think it's
Vlad's
semi-legit.
first, Glimmer, and then Desolator.
It helps them push towers really quickly.
Yeah, and that's all that matters, right? You've only got 1 lane of racks left.
Dota is a tower game.
Who else was going to build the Desolator but this RMN Disruptor? 150 damage a shot.
Alright, Swift Ending immediately pops to Satanic to try to heal up, but unfortunately only one-shots 1 creep wave and doesn't get to necessarily where he wants to be. Pycat no longer has that Aegis, like we mentioned, but does have 2,500 gold. Pretty much everybody just has buyback in case they completely disaster a fight up.
Alright, the charge forward here, tier 3 tower, wall vacuum combination with a good amount of damage out from the Ember Spirit. Swift Ending is going to be dropped here quite soon. Nemphy is able to get that kill, and the Sven is dead for 90 seconds. Sexy Bamboo, though, move forward, trying to go for Trick. Unable to get enough criticals to finish him off, and they actually buy back on the Spirit Breaker. They can chase down some big-time heroes here with a Great Fisher stun out on 2. That sets things up pretty nicely. RMN trying to run his poor Desolator Disruptor away, but that's not going to happen. Pycat actually got a dieback there on the Spirit Breaker, but EGM's going to be caught. And this just becomes total rundown for Stark.
I mean,
it's only going to catch them up so much, but it's a start.
Yeah. Like, that was a 5k. That was a 5k gold advantage swing for them. Like, that's kind of an absurd fight right there. Like the net worth goes almost from 30k to 20k in like the span of 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh, Nymphy got off the refraction just in time. 60 Bamboo could have actually one-shot him. Oh, never mind. He didn't have an Echo Slam.
Yeah.
So if he got really lucky...
Yeah, Stark can kind of still maybe do this, though, in some roundabout way. If you get another Aegis on the Sven, I don't really know how you defend, which is probably what they're waiting for. Just another Aegis on the Sven or the SF. Then you just go for the high ground. I don't know. If you're... like, it's such an awkward position because Stark know that they can't take a fight outside their base, but at the same time, if you give up the Aegis, there's a good chance that you lose anyways by default.
They just have to go for a pickoff right now, and then hope that Roshan's up and they can take it for themselves.
Yeah, they have to win like 3 fights in a row to be able to do much. Like, the Shadow Fiend now has a Satanic too, so everyone's getting pretty tanky and pretty farmed. Probably drop the Blink. Grab the Aegis, go for the high ground plays.
They start pinging out Roshan on the Radiant side. It wouldn't be surprised if they went for some sort of smoke play soon. Charge? Nope. It's going to be canceled. Valix not going to challenge this Fen, that's for sure. They do have a really good opportunity, actually. With OKC stealing the Stormhammer. They get a Vacuum Wall Stormhammer combo. Then maybe he's able to chain some sort of like telekinesis play with the Spirit Breaker charge through.
I mean, even Fissure would be okay to steal at this point.
Yeah.
Or if he could steal another SF ult, that'd be sick. Alright, but here's the high ground assault.
They're just going to go all in for the racks here. Trixie's looking for some sort of opening, but he's already been stunned up. The Skywrath Mage ultimate gets dropped, but they easily get out. Valix, though, just gets stuck inside of that kinetic field. Torn apart. Oh my god.
Okay.
That was the Daedalus proc with a cleave onto 2. Wipes out both the Ember Spirit and the poor little Rubik.
There were heroes
Immediate
there.
buyback from Nymphy, but that doesn't change a thing.
Okay, what just happened? Like, there were heroes there, and
he just got a like 1800 damage critical, and poof, 2 heroes just disappeared.
All right, I saw some heroes. They just faded out of view almost instantly. That's life, I guess.
1 minute you're there, and next minute you're dead.
Yeah, but GG is called. It's gonna do it for us. As
all right, who's your MVP?
My MVP of this series, it's probably gonna be Pycat. I thought he just played a really stable mid overall. He's able to go pretty farmed in both games.
Yeah,
especially in that first game.
For sure. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. That brings the end of the defense for the day. We'll be back tomorrow as well as Wednesday. I believe Blitz and I are going to be casting tomorrow as well. So I hope you guys will join us for all of that. Blitz, any last words?
Nope.
All right. We're out, guys. Thanks for watching.